Hello, Reindeer. After watching your video, I just had to take you up on your offer and send you that reply. Anyways, I'll get on with it and enjoy. Well, on the upside, you're charismatic. I'll give you that. You can actually talk to somebody. Thing is, you kind of need something to go with that. So, alright, well, I'm going to answer your questions one by one so you don't get lost while you're doing this. Alright, first off, you said something along the lines of, how did something come from nothing? You were talking about the Big Bang, the whole idea that scientists can prove everything after the Big Bang, but they can't actually prove why it happened. Well, I've got one theory for you. First off, the Big Bang, part of that idea is the fact that there was a universe before this one. But what happened was it got too big, it started to collapse in on itself because there was just too much matter, and crushed into a black hole. And then what happened at that point is there's just way too much matter all pressed into that one little spot, and that exploded outward. And it just kind of kept on going in a circle. Every time the universe got too big, it wouldn't do that, crush down into a small little ball, and then explode outwards again. That's just how that theory works. Now, that can make some sense, and especially if you actually look up what an explosion is, what a black hole is, that sort of stuff. Now, the other thing is, you say, well, scientists can't prove it. They can't prove the initial. Can you prove why God exists, why He's there, or even how we got here, if that's how it works? Because there are two possibilities. He might have just appeared out of nowhere, much in the same way as the Big Bang, or he would have been there constantly. Anyways, I'll get into that later because that's part of another question. But, you said, for the Big Bang, when something explodes, the pieces fly in all different directions at a constant speed. So why didn't it result in a big, gigantic ring of expanding matter, instead of the universe with planets, solar system, stuff like that? Well, look at any video you can find of an explosion anywhere. Literally anything. An atomic bomb, a grenade, what have you. Best in slow motion so that you can actually see what's going on, but still. If you knew what an explosion looked like, you would understand that things do not travel at the same speed. Some things will slow down, while others will continue to explode faster than anything else. Alright? So, the other thing is, if you consider the amount of time that it takes for a bomb to explode and for the universe to expand. The fact that we're still here after millions, probably even billions of years. That kind of proves that everything's moving much, much slower. If you were to compare Big Bang Theory to a bomb, compare the bomb, you just have to remember that it's taking much, much longer than the universe to expand, than a bomb to explode. So, while everything inside that explosion, let's say, could be moving incredibly fast, it will look as if it's moving very, very slow, just because of the size of the universe and the time that it takes for the Big Bang to occur. So, you could still have planets, living things in the universe. Still makes sense. Sorry. On to your next question. Why aren't there half-evolved humans walking around, ape men, like you put it? Well, it's a thing about evolution. It happens over a long period of time, but everything evolves at the same rate. Things don't just half-evolve and other things evolve more. Plus, the other thing is, I'd like to point out your idea about half-ape men. There are still monkeys. They're very, very close to humans. The only difference is they didn't need to evolve to that point that we did. And that's mostly because of environment. That's the whole reason why things evolve. They need to better themselves in some way so that they can survive in the environment that they're put in. Monkeys, they were probably content where they were, and humans probably evolved in a much different part of the world at the time. The other thing is, like I said, things evolve at the same rate. What I mean is certain species evolve at the same rate. Every time, evolution will only occur at a new generation, whenever something is reborn, it has specific traits that are better than its predecessors, just because it is improving itself, it's evolving. That is why everything evolves at the same rate. So, half monkey, half man, that just does not make any sense. Like I said before, do your homework, look up what evolution fucking means, and come back to me when you have a little bit of background knowledge, right? Now, on to your next point. You said that you were criticizing scientists because apparently they criticize you and your belief in God. Because you were talking about space, the fact that it's always existed in scientists' eyes, and you're criticizing them because you thought, why can't God exist the whole time? Like, why did he not need an initial starting point? Well, I've got news for you. Space is nothingness. Empty space. Nothing that you can possibly touch. The only thing is, space still lets things live in it, such as planets, dust, stars, people. These things are merely just moving around in empty space. So space itself, it's nothing. You don't really need to prove the fact that nothing is there. Just literally nothing is there. God, however, you have to prove that he exists, because I'm sure that you'll agree with me, he affects your life in some way, doesn't he? Moving on. You also said, why don't Christians do anything when their beliefs are questioned, much like Muslims? What, do you want us to have a war? Do you want Christians to go off and riot in the streets because the media is laughing at them or something? Are you insane? Plus, the other thing is, Christians have done this before. They've done the same thing that Muslims are doing now. It's called the Crusades. Look it up in your history books. Honestly, you've missed something big. Crusades lasted for decades. It was nothing but a bloodbath because people disagreed with them. This was pretty much cleansing and trying to convert. This is bullshit. Killing people all because they believe in something different. That's like killing your friends because they don't like the same music as you. Would you really have a fight with somebody over something as trivial as that? I don't think so. Religion is a completely different belief, I'll admit, but still, what it comes down to is the principle of that fact. Would you actually start a war just because somebody doesn't believe the same things that you do? And by the way, more violence, more blood spilled does not equal greater devotion to your God. That's bullshit. Anyways, the last thing I wanted to say, thought it was kind of interesting how at the beginning of your video, you're bitching about how Warren didn't answer you, didn't send you a reply in the past 4 days. And then at the end of the video you say, well, anybody who would like to tell me what they think of this video, or bring up points that I haven't, question me in any way, pretty much anything that Warren did, can do so. You're welcoming us to do this. However, you also told us Warren is the only one that is not welcome to reply. Funny how you change your mind in about 5 minutes or so. Anyways, hope you enjoyed our little talk, and maybe I'll hear from you again. Except, like I said, this time, do your homework. Actually come up with good things to say. And when you tell me that you actually are basing everything on common sense, bring some of that with you too. Good night.